INFOWARS has more than 15 YouTube channels and about 3 million subscribers. Our main channel has 1.854 or 1,854,000 plus subscribers. Now, they've been gaming the system for a long time to shut down nationalistic or patriotic media, saying we're right-wingers, saying we're extremists. Well, it doesn't matter who we are. We have a right to free speech, don't we? As long as we don't violate the rules. Well, now Zuckerberg has come out and said he's going to restrict conservative news like communist China does, calling it fake news. And Google, that owns YouTube, has announced, and they've done it now 2 weeks ago, that they're going to basically make you click the bell in your notifications. We're going to show you how to do that, or you won't get all the channels that you've subscribed to and you won't get the videos. Now, why are they doing this? It's more than just censoring. They want you to see the videos that they feed you below and beside the videos you're looking at that are corporately sponsored so they make more money. They're taking the you out of YouTube. So we're in this information war, and it's more important than ever that you promote the videos, that you like the videos, and that you send them on to others. Because the answer to the attempt to shut us down and restrict free speech that's openly now happening is for us to redouble our efforts. We're winning the culture war as true classical liberals that made this country great. We're restoring the Renaissance. So again, if you want to get our videos, so you can make your decision whether you want to see them or not. After all, that's why you subscribed. YouTube's had this since they started 12 years ago or whatever it was. And they're fundamentally changing it so you don't get it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is promoting fake news and trash news and establishment news. It's killing real independent news. But we the people, by taking action, can break the back of this system. So please, click on the bell so you get the notifications and so you get in your feed the videos and channels you've subscribed to. I'm Alex Jones for INFOWARS.com. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Alex Jones. Thank you so much for joining us on this 21st day of December, 2016. Hard to believe we're about to be in 2017. And the INFOWARS, anti-globalist Americana era begins. But we're going to have to fight for it. Make no mistake. But hey, Americans love to fight, don't we? And we love to win. And I got to tell you, I'm never going to get sick of winning. And I'm never going to get sick of fighting. And I've come here to kick ass and chew bubble gum and to quote the immortal Rowdy Piper, I'm all out of bubble gum. Nothing except the good Lord above could stop human ingenuity, human drive, human will, human passion, human love when we have a focus and know it's for our species. And that's why the globalists have done everything they can to demoralize us and make us feel weak. But we're breaking their will now, and they can feel it economically, culturally, and spiritually, most important. All right, let me just calm down and get to all this news because it is just over the top important. I don't even know where to start. Let me just set the table with how the enemy's trying to break our will and how they're now having to reverse themselves more and more. Chris Hayes has come out and tried to whitewash the Islamic terror, hitting Christmas parties, hitting the Russian ambassador and others in Europe. They're also trying to triple down on the race baiting to put minority groups and whites and others into their own little boxes to fear each other and to politically not come together around prosperity and populism. It is a desperate attempt at sabotage, and they admit that it's not working. Yesterday, MTV put up a super hardcore, racist message that we're going to be playing here today that is resolutions for white guys. Now, they've had former videos on this same show where they say, attention, white guys, and they say, you've caused the murder, you've caused the criminality, you are the bad people in the world, despite the fact that history doesn't show that. In the sum, it shows the opposite. It's just with modern technology, the death tolls have been higher. The highest death tolls of any population have been committed by the Chinese communists, and throughout history, it's been committed by the Chinese. The Chinese are the all-time biggest killers of their own people. It's over 100 million since 1949 when Mao took over all of China. It's estimated he probably killed about 10 million Chinese before that. We're talking well over 100 mil. If you'd like me to walk through what's happened in other places where non-Anglos engage in mass murder of their own people or wars, I'd be more than happy to. But MTV publicly shames whites, and under psychology, it shows them apologizing for what they've done to America and apologizing for things their ancestors didn't even do. Total mental illness. But now, MTV went too far with the weaponization, and Sumner Redstone's anti-American operation had to pull back. That's coming up in a moment as well. They have expunged this, but under fair use and under the public's right to know, the weaponized media being targeted, we have the video. We're going to be playing that in a moment. But understand this, we've got 12 dead, 60-plus injured. Others may die, unfortunately, in Berlin. We've got 89 dead in Nice, hundreds injured. And we had media back then that for a week wouldn't say it was Islamic attack. They called it a truck attack. Here they had to admit it very, very early because witnesses said they saw a Middle Eastern-looking guy get out of it and run off. They grabbed another illegal invader. They let him go after 20 hours of interrogation, and now they said they have the name of the guy and the identity and the face of who did it. And I covered that earlier. We could put that on screen. But the media is blurring out his face, hoping he doesn't get caught. Tunisian asylum seeker, 23, suspected of carrying out Berlin massacre, was arrested 3 times this year amid fears he was planning a terror plot, but police let him go and are now offering 100,000 euros to anyone who finds him. And there he is. His name is Anis Amir. Actually, it's Anis Amir. Shouldn't insult anuses. There's some beautiful butts out there, a lot better looking than his face. I got to tell you, I've seen horses' asses that look better than him. He actually looks like a deformed elephant butt. Maybe his mother was an elephant. The point is, people are sick. In fact, let's trigger everybody that's watching that's not a patriot or who's living in some mind control cult. Let's put up the Texas Christmas tree. Well, we can put him up there, too. What a little wimp. Well, you know, he didn't go attack a military target. He didn't go attack men. He ran over a bunch of people at a Christmas party, outdoors under the stars. Just another coward. Like his brethren that ran over the 3-year-olds running, screaming, "Mommy, mommy," direct shades of Mad Max. And everyone in Europe's wondering why this happened. We bring you here. We give everything free. We throw out old Germans out of their Section 8 housing. In Italy, they're throwing people out of hospital beds and out of hotels to house all the beautiful, chosen people of Islam. Oh, and where's the outrage of Islam? There's a big article out of the Southern Poverty Law Center that, by the way, law enforcement for 5 years doesn't even use anymore because they got caught running Elohim City and other operations. Law enforcement knows who they are now. They say General Flynn, former head of Defense Intelligence, who exposed the al-Qaeda ISIS system Obama and Hillary were running, and who helped stop it. Super smart guy, listener of this show, obviously. They know that. He tweets our stuff. We'll leave it at that. They keep calling him a kook and a weirdo, and then they say, he says Islam will not coexist with us and is trying to take over. He said it's rational to fear Islam. He said Islam, they quote stuff like he's discredited, and this is stuff he said years ago, some of it a decade ago, and all of it is coming true. He said Europe will not be Europe by 2050. This is the kind of stuff he says. It's like General Flynn said that the sky is blue. General Flynn said fish live in the water. General Flynn said grass is green. General Flynn said Rudolph has a red nose. General Flynn said Superman has a red cape. General Flynn said bicycles have two wheels. What a kook. It's like you read their thing about me. Jones says there's a plan to open the borders and bring in world government. It's been announced. It's done. But they have to take what's normal. It's psychological warfare, totally normal, totally admitted, and go, look at this. This is insane. So you're scared to say it. Why? You might get put on a list. The Southern Poverty Law Center might attack you. Chris Hayes might readjust his glasses to make him look like a professor. Let me adjust my glasses here. Like, somebody get me a pair of glasses and a pipe. Somebody go get me a pair of reading glasses that kind of look professorly, and a pipe from the local drugstore. They sell them behind the counter. And in fact, I even want some tobacco, some cherry flavored tobacco for Christmas. I'm gonna sit there like Chris Hayes. Oh, let me light my lighter and win an election. Well, there's no Islam here. It'd be like walking up to the Taj Mahal and going, I don't see the Taj Mahal here. Where is it? It's like right in front of you. Or watching us on TV right now. I don't see a Christmas tree here. Where could it be? Nowhere here. Oh, Chris Hayes, you're so intellectual. You're so metrosexual. We can't tell who's male, who's female. You're so modern. Maddow looks like more of a man than you. Chris Hayes, sustained effort to demonize Trump, no matter how deranged, is the path back to power for Democrats. Now, he always looks like he's drunk about 3 bottles of cough syrup. It's just so like, I'm Chris Hayes, going to sleep here. But let's go ahead and play Chris Hayes. Then we'll get to the new MTV video they pulled they don't want you to see, where they're actually hyping up. Notice it's always led by white people. I've actually found it's not really, on average, blacks and Hispanics that are running around with all this racist crap. In fact, I've seen them in the real world just kind of go, this is crazy. What, are they trying to create racism? Absolutely. Because weaker-minded white people watch this and go join the KKK. I mean, this is crazy town, folks. You are bad because you're white, you're horrible, and you're weird, and you can't play sports, and you're pathetic, and you can't sing, and you can't dance. This is all Hollywood. Whites are scum, whites are bad, whites are out of style, whites are terrible, whites are the worst thing in the world, even though white people are number 16 or 17, depending on the year, on the economic chart. Up at the top is Christian folks from the Middle East, and then you move on down from there, Lebanese particularly, then it's Chinese and Vietnamese and Koreans and on and on and on. And then way down here, white people, and then black people. Hispanics aren't as high up as they should be because on average, it's a well-known demographic. It's not a cliche. It's called a number. Don't trust banks. Don't trust vaccines. Don't trust the police or whatever. You always hear the government bemoaning that. That's why I mention it. They don't put their money in banks, but Hispanics are doing quite well as well. Probably better on average than a lot of whites now because whites were the dominant economic force. And it was all the work ethic. That's been taken out, and the demographics show whites are nosediving since the 80s, like blacks started nosediving in the 60s. So whites are down the rat hole, thanks to social engineering. Social engineering works on people, folks. Worked really good on black people. They had lower illegitimacy until the 50s than white people. Now it's upwards of 80%, some areas 90+%. Whites are now pushing 40%. It's in single digits in the 50s. And I'm not attacking single families. They always go, what, are you attacking single families? Absolutely not. There's some great fathers and mothers that single parents do an incredible job. The point is, statistically, it is a wrecking ball. But, oh, the state can raise your kids now. Don't worry. Yes, they do such a great job. But you read the stuff where General Flynn supposedly discredited, it's like proving everything he said. So let's go ahead and go to the clip of Chris Matthews trying to whitewash the jihad attacks. Good old Chris Hayes.
At least 12 people are dead and dozens injured in Berlin after a truck plowed through evening crowds at a Christmas. in the German capital. According to police, the truck was registered in Poland and may have been stolen. Police said they arrested a suspect believed to have been the driver. Investigators have yet to determine whether it was a deliberate attack, much less whether it was terrorism. But ISIS and Al-Qaeda have both called on followers to use trucks in attacks on public places, and ISIS claimed responsibility for one such attack over the summer in Nice, France, where a truck barreled through crowds celebrating Bastille Day, killing 86 people. Trump responded to what happened today in a statement. Our hearts and prayers are with the loved ones of the victims of today's horrifying terror attack in Berlin. Innocent civilians were murdered in the streets as they prepared to celebrate the Christmas holiday. ISIS and other Islamist terrorists continually slaughter Christians in their communities and places of worship as part of their global jihad. Just to reiterate, the deadly incident has not been declared a terrorist attack by the German authorities themselves as of yet. Also today, in the latest example of Syria's violent war spilling past that country's borders, the Russian ambassador to Turkey was assassinated by a lone gunman while delivering a speech at a museum in the Turkish capital of Ankara. Police sources tell NBC News the gunman was Turkish, a 22-year-old officer in the Ankara Special Forces. According to witnesses, the gunman yelled out, "Don't forget Aleppo, don't forget Syria," wounding 3 additional people before being fatally shot by police.
Okay, so there he is trying to cast doubt when now there's basically no doubt. Now let's continue with a New Year's resolution from MTV in a moment. But first, I want to play London Islamicists in front of police chant, "Caliphate on its way." So they're telling you, we're coming with our religious system to take over. They're saying they want Sharia law to be implemented. In France, they're telling Muslim women, do not go to French cafes, do not go out without your burqas, or we'll physically come after you. But it doesn't exist. The Muslims want to come here and follow our laws and coexist. Well, some of them do, and they're great people. They're called heretics, according to Islam. So Muslims chant, USA, you will pay. Caliphate is on its way. We also have video of this going on in England as well. But let's go ahead and go to the one in the U.S. Here it is.
In silence, they've wrung their hands. They complain, they shed crocodile tears, but they have done nothing to bring this situation to an end. Victory, victory on its way. Victory, victory on its way. Ya Allah, to you we pray. Ya Allah, to you we pray. USA, you will pay. USA, you will pay. Khilafah is on its way. Khilafah is on its way. USA, soon you'll pay. USA, soon you'll pay. Khilafah is on its way. Khilafah is on its way.
Okay, that is in the UK. We have the other one here in the US this week as well. We can put some of those articles up on screen, but I'm not going to play them just because I can't stand to look at it. And a bunch of arrogant ne'er-do-wells, most of them on welfare, it's well known, they milk it, running around bitching. And most of these aren't even real immigrants. They're like former prisoners, criminals. The colleges and the public schools and the prisons are where this is all being done, the recruiting. And the left just loves it. Now, let me go ahead and go to this next piece that I mentioned. This is up on INFOWARS.com. They have pulled this down. They do not want you to be aware of this. They've got scores of other videos from the same show on MTV where they have white men crying. I just showed it on screen earlier, saying, we're sorry, we're racist, all the bad in the world is because of us. And then all these weird white people with these other weird bullying racist minorities saying, listen, you're fundamentally bad. Do you understand? And the universities teach the end of whiteness, how great it's going to be. We must all look alike. We must all interbreed into Mongols. And I'm not against hybrid vigor and people that are mixed. It's just different. The point is making us all mix into a Mongol. When I say Mongol, I mean a Mongol with no culture, a corporate Mongol that's just programmable, that's a consumer, that doesn't even know what they're doing. Again, I'm all for free market, all for wealth, all for power, for people individually directed how they see fit in a free market. I'm totally against empty consumerism with what the globalists say we must have. Two different things. They always claim that I'm contradicting myself because they don't understand nuances or the incredible spectrum of free will. Now let's go to this truly disgusting. I kept wondering, when will MTV go too far? Well, when they got 99% downvotes, that's what they got. And when everybody, even the left, freaked out on this, it finally was so much for the Stockholm Syndrome, learned helplessness, normalcy bias, white people that hate themselves, their religion is hating themselves, to finally hear being white inherently is bad, period. They finally went, oh my God, this is racism.
Fellow white guys,
it's about to be a new year, and there's a few things we think you could do a little bit better in 2017.
Hit pause, rewind it. I love how they use soft beta white males, and then they cut to a black guy with a cat on his shirt. It's all non-threatening. I'm wearing pink socks. I've got a cat on, but I'm saying hardcore racist stuff that the KKK would say about black people against white people. That's their uniform. It's all trendy, soft, fun, vicious. We're not going to let you keep any of your money. We're going to run your life. We're going to tell you what words to use. It's a cult using race-based garbage as its operating system. Here it is.
Hey, fellow white guys.
It's about to be a new year, and there's a few things we think you could do a little bit better in 2017.
Resolutions for white guys.
First off, try to recognize that America was never great for anyone who wasn't a white guy.
Can we all just agree that Black Lives Matter isn't the opposite of All Lives Matter? Black lives just matter. There's no need to overcomplicate it.
Also, Blue Lives Matter.
Do you notice the arrogance if you're watching and the hatred of these people's eyes? Their whole cult is that they feel inferior, whether they're a wimpy white guy or whatever, and then they're going around to bully and boss you around in a gang of limp-wristed twits that couldn't fight their way out of a wet paper bag. And they have no idea about the history here in the United States. They have no idea about what happened to the North, the South, what the pirate ships were consisted of, where libertarianism began. They have no idea that the West was this new Atlantis experiment of true liberalism to try to set up a new system to then phase all of that out. Russian historians know that. They claim they're a land-based empire against the whole Atlantean experience. But you don't even know that true liberalism came out of the West. You're sitting here saying that Christian liberalism is the worst thing in the world. But let me tell you, any black folks I know that ever actually go to Africa, they come back going, whoa, I love America now. Absolutely you do. Or you go to other places, I'm telling you, this is crazy. But again, minorities are the majority now in most areas. The globalists want to blow up that upwardly mobile, classically liberal stairway to wealth and security and culture. That's what they're doing. Because they're bringing in poverty. They're giving you college degrees that are worthless. They don't want you to have this birthright. Fake liberalism is the globalist counterfeit to kill the real Thomas Jeffersonian liberalism they want to destroy. Then Russia decries the anti-family, anti-human liberalism they see and believe that that's the original liberalism that was here in the United States and Europe when it's not. So Alexander Duggan and others who are smart people need to actually reassess their analysis if they want to look at that. I think it's good that Russia is being pro-family, anti-destruction of the family, cutting taxes for the family, pro-freedom, pro-sovereignty. That's all great, pro-male role model, because that only empowers the women. So you don't fall to Islam where it's the mutated extreme of that. But to insult and attack the entire Western experiment, look at the technology, look at the society, look at the culture. You don't need to go in some troglodyte direction just because the modern false left has hijacked technology and used it to enslave. Now, that's a message to Russia. That's not really a message to the general public, but I'm sure some of the public will get it. Maybe some of the fake liberals will break out of the control paradigm they're in and vomit out the poison and realize you've been brainwashed. There's still time. Let's go back.
Also, Blue Lives Matter isn't a thing.
Cops weren't born with blue skin, right? I mean, yeah, they weren't born blue. Stop bragging about being woke. Stop saying woke.
Learn what mansplaining is, and then stop doing it.
Oh,
Right,
and here's...
I love how the media always says men who are white are the only ones that sit with their legs apart. See, giving us new things we've done that are bad. Women sit with their legs apart. That's how you sit back and relax. They're telling, Obama does it all the time, but it's okay when he does. Google Obama manspreading. If you do it, it's wrong to sit back on a couch and relax. Or if there's room on a subway to sit back and lean back. You've got to be uptight because you're a man. But even worse, you're a white man. Oh, mansplaining, not manspreading. Oh, exactly. Men aren't supposed to talk and be leaders and know things. Oh, yeah, that's even worse. Only the state is your God. Right, women? Here it is.
Don't prioritize the well-being of an Ivy League athlete over the woman he assaulted.
We all love Beyonce. And yeah, she's black.
Let's hit pause. Back it up to the start. Notice you've got all these black football players, all these black sports players beating up women, doing all this stuff, but we've got to go find one white swimmer that reportedly date raped somebody and make it the end of the world because white males are rapists, even though they're the lowest demographic group other than some Asian males to rape. Doesn't matter. Say they are. And then say some white guys rape a black girl in a lacrosse deal when she was a stripper. Turned out it wasn't true. But again, this is the media projecting all bull, all weaponized, racist garbage. Here it is.
Hey, fellow white guys.
It's about to be a new year. And there's a few things we think you could do a little bit better in 2017.
You know, start it over again. I'm sorry. We're going to go out to break with it. I'm not going to interrupt this time. The first white guy's like real wimpy. Oh, hi. And you're a good white guy. You have a chicken neck, and you do what you're told, and you don't exist, and you don't affect change. You're not part of history. You roll over and culturally die. Then you're going to be accepted, okay? Let's play it.
Hey, fellow white guys.
It's about to be a new year. And there's a few things we think you could do a little bit better in 2017.
First off, try to recognize that America was never great for anyone who wasn't a white guy.
Can we all just agree
So why
that
is
Black
everybody
Lives
trying to get
Matter
here?
isn't the opposite of all lives matter? Black lives just matter. There's no need to overcomplicate it.
Also,
You
Blue Lives Matter
overcomplicated it.
isn't
You were the ones that always kept saying
Blue skin?
only Black Lives Matter.
I mean, yeah.
And like
They
taking
want
over
blue.
events saying
Stop
only
bragging
Black
about
Lives
people.
Matter and going after folks that
Stop
said all
saying
lives matter.
woke.
Learn what mansplaining is, and then stop doing it.
Oh, and if you're a judge, don't prioritize the well-being of an Ivy League athlete over the woman he assaulted.
We all love Beyonce. And yeah, she's black. So of course she cares about black issues. I'm talking to you, Fox News.
Feel free to take Kanye West, though. You guys can have him.
You know what you did, Kanye.
Nobody who has black friends says that they have black friends.
And just because you have black friends doesn't mean you're not racist. You can be racist with black friends.
Look, guys, we know
Always
nobody's
racist.
perfect.
But honestly, we could do a little better in 2017.
Some of you guys do a great job.
Bullies, please kiss our ass more. Please grovel to us. We're bullies. So if you just joined us, I just spent the last 10 minutes or so of the last hour covering a Kit Daniels article up on INFOWARS.com that needs to go viral because MTV's scared of this. This went too far. They've got all these other videos they've done with white men crying and saying, I'm sorry, I'm evil, our race is bad, we're bad people. I mean, this is like Hitler, but from the MTV perspective against white people. I mean, it is Nazi ideology against non-whites, but turned around the other way. It is crazy. MTV pulls racist resolutions for white guys video amid outrage. And again, Kit's going to post some of the older videos they've done on the same show that we've covered where again, whites apologize for being whites. This is being taught in high schools, colleges, everywhere. They are stunting your children. They're turning them into mentally ill, crazy people that hate themselves and turning the minorities into brown KKK members if they can. While the school tries to teach your 5-year-old they're a tranny and should cut their penis off. So, I mean, this is what's going on in this country, folks. It's unbelievable. So we're going to, again, add those other articles to the story that's up on INFOWARS.com that needs to go viral. Now, as if that isn't bad enough, we have Michelle Obama running around. And by the way, she looks like a snapping turtle. I don't say she looks like a snapping turtle because she's black, and I just like black people. I know a lot of really good-looking black ladies. It's because she looks like a hateful snapping turtle who's a man. She looks like a tranny. And, of course, I say that so the media attacks me because everybody hates the media, and they just come to us with the media attacks us. And the media hadn't figured out how much they're hated, so they keep taking the bait. But, sorry, video, Michelle Obama compares Americans to toddlers. Now, I compare myself to an albino gorilla, so it's okay to insult people, isn't it, if you can turn around and say it about yourself. But getting serious, that's what my kids call me. They go, you look like a gorilla, Daddy. You're hairy like one, Daddy. I do kind of have a chest like a gorilla. In fact, the guys, this morning we were out exercising, and they were calling me a gorilla. So, anyways, continuing, that was Q and Pat, and my son was out with us this morning exercising, hiking, and it was all big funny about how I look like a gorilla. Better than a snapping turtle. Now, continuing, U.S. confidence surges to highest level that Gallup has ever recorded on Trump phobia, but that's okay. He's a bad person. He doesn't know what he's doing. Michelle Obama and Michael Moore, they know everything. Meanwhile, she compares people that voted, the American people for Trump, as toddlers that hit their head. She's the mommy, we're the idiots. Here she is with Oprah Winfrey. Let's analyze this propaganda.
Your husband's administration, everything, the election was all about hope. Do you think that this administration achieved that?
Yes, I do. Because we feel the difference now.
Racial division, worst
now
ever.
We're feeling what not having hope feels like.
Oh, the exuberance?
You know,
the economy?
Hope is necessary. It's a necessary concept. And Barack didn't just talk about hope because he thought it was just a nice slogan to get votes. I mean, he and I and so many believe that what else do you have if you don't have hope?
Yeah.
What do you give your kids if you can't give them hope? Our children respond to crises the way they see us respond. You know, it's like the toddler that bumps his head on the table and they look up at you to figure out whether it hurts. And if you're like, oh my God, they're crying. But if you're like, you know what, babe, it's okay, it's okay. And I feel that way about the nation. I feel that Barack has been that for the nation in ways that people will come to appreciate.
Oh, that's enough.
So
Barack Obama is our daddy, and we've hit our head. She's talking about her constituents. She's not talking about the people that she thinks are idiots that voted for Trump. She's saying her constituents are like toddlers that have hit their head. That's about what they're like, actually. And they look up to her, and she goes, that's okay, baby. It's going to be all right. I mean, the arrogance, the elitism. These are the folks that go to Africa and tell people they can't have cars or air conditioning as he walks off Air Force One with 10 planes behind him and thousands of people. And carbon footprints bigger than anything you can imagine and $50 million a day being spent. But you can't have a house or a car or an air conditioner. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say, see, I told you so, that communist Chinese-style net censorship was coming to the web, because it's already here. It's being announced. The way you keep the internet open and free is you get involved more than ever. Go to INFOWARS.com/app. A new battleship in the fight. INFOWARS Live, available right now. We're looking for a crew to man it. You going to sit down and play games and be a trendy? Or are you going to be part of history? Don't sit by and let the internet and free speech be stolen from you. Take action.